So let's talk about Shortys though.
Okay.
We're going to Shortys was
Popping.
It was going fucking nuts, right?
Yeah.
What happened? Why did you end up leaving?
I think it was like, it's weird because like I don't want to like point the finger at anybody really. It's hard for me to do that because it was such a beautiful time that the end almost like doesn't even matter to me anymore.
Were you, burnt out though, or was it?
You know what it is that we were all so tight that eventually everybody just kind of like grew up a little bit, you know, and
started living their own lives.
Yeah, we all started going our own way a little bit, you know, and that unique sense of family kind of was lost. Even though we're all still tight, we're probably almost tighter now than we were at the end of things, kind of a bit.
Yeah,
but
it didn't feel like family anymore, right? Or it didn't feel close. You didn't feel that connection of riding horses,
and so. I mean, I don't want to point the finger again, but I think like the owner, Tony, really tried to start to take it in his own direction.
Okay.
And do things without talking to us. Where in the past it was like everybody was talking about it.
Everybody had to say.
And he kind of like moved, he was staying in Vegas a lot and he was like just designing things and then Guilty came out and he had this whole concept for this like, you know, movie and this cops and all this stuff. And we were kind of like, okay, like, you know, we just wanted to skate more, I think. And we did it and it was funny. It was like, it is what it is, you know,
right.
but I remember feeling like, kind of like, I don't know, man, something's not right about this. Like, like this isn't really like what I envisioned.
You didn't feel it in your gut,
Like it sounded cool to do a movie, but then we weren't really part of the script or like, it was just sort of like, here, show up and say this and do this. And then when I watched it, I remember feeling kind of like, oh, I don't know, man, this is like, I don't know how people are going to like perceive this really.
Like you went from like Fulfill the Dream where it was all spontaneous stuff to this like scripted thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, this isn't really it's not even your vibe.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even go out and skate structured.
Yeah.
You go out and skate just how you're feeling.
Yeah. And it's like, it was weird because part of the allure was cool because it was like, oh, we're getting this like real movie director and like it's going to be like, you know, in our eyes, you know, we were like, maybe it could be in a movie theater or like, you know, like we were really excited about it. But then I think like the closer it came to, as it happened and we were filming and as the editing was coming, it kind of became more secretive with the editing too. And then that whole thing happened and it was kind of like, I was hyped on it. It was fun and stuff, but it was like, it wasn't the same, you know? And then I started partying a lot. That's kind of where partying took over. I started to get money. I was introduced to the Hollywood scene.
Right.
I was over there in the mud.
Yeah, you were over with Paris Hilton and You know, he wants that back up on the shelf. He turned it around too.
Sorry, Jerry.
It's a white mug now.
Sorry, Jerry.
Just
you know, that's when like I think the persona that I had put out there and this like image that like everybody started to think I was started to take over more of who I actually was.
Interesting.
And it was like all of a sudden there was this like I had to be the Muska, you know what I mean, or whatever.
You had to skate around with the boom box and the whole thing.
And it was like the Escalade and the jewelry and the this and that and I think like I don't know if I subconsciously was starting to question all of it, but like for whatever reason, before that, I was definitely living it up.
Well, I was going to say you were kind of playing into it as well.
Yeah, and I was like, and that I had that opportunity to like you know, this kid from nowhere who had fantasized about all these dreams of like being in Hollywood and watching a Tom Petty video and you know, like
sitting on the
all
curb.
of a sudden it was real, like, and I'm like in the club and you know, and it's like Lindsay Lohan and the Olsen twins and I'm like on my arm around all of them and I'm like, yeah, these are my girls and you know, and like I was like I'm the king, you know what I mean, like, and there was no skaters in there at that time. I was like the skater, like
no skaters like, could get in there,
and I wasn't trying to get any of them in there. Right. I'm a nice guy and all, but I was like, this is my moment.
Is your
like,
shit, yeah.
You know, like,
for me.
But it was glorious.
You were riding the wave.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I was having a blast. But like any wave, there's a crash.
It ends,
and when you're partying hard, it's gonna catch up to you.
Yeah.
And it started to. and I made some good money off skateboarding, but I also didn't pay taxes a lot. All of a sudden, the tax man hit me. Boom! I owed like a lot of money,
Oh,
like
wow.
a lot of money, and
Yeah.
and I thought I was like set for life at this point, and I pretty much had to write everything gone, like a lot of money.
Pay your taxes,
And
kids.
Yes, pay your taxes, skaters.
very
Pay your
important.
taxes,
And it's-
everybody.
That's something that they don't teach you.
Nope,
Oh,
they
hell
don't
no.
want to do that.
They just
No,
give you a check,
they don't want
and,
you to do that.
they don't know. They don't tell you like, "Hey, pay the tax man." They just give you a check. And you're
They
like,
gave-
"Oh, cool."
They gave me a bag of Skittles and like only eat 3/4 of the Skittles.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
No.
I mean, the whole bag.
So I made, and I didn't come from money, so I didn't have like my parents couldn't guide me
Right.
financially. And I was invincible in my mind. I was like, I'm on top. I'm always gonna be on top. Like I'm going for it. I'm like in Hollywood with, I'm at Michael Jackson's house this week. I'm over here like, next week with, crazy stuff was going on. You know what I mean? Like that, like I felt like if I'm around all these, Leonardo DiCaprio and this,
I'm gonna get in a movie.
Like, I thought I was gonna be in a movie. I thought I was gonna have a hit record.
Right,
right,
yeah.
I was like, I made it, and I'm famous. Like,
Right.
and I was speaking of that a little bit earlier. That fame is a drug. Fame
Yeah.
is a crazy drug, and I was riding it. And like I said, that crash did start to happen. The money started to slow down. I wasn't putting out skating stuff as much. The company started to question me, like, "What are you doing, man? Like, what's up? Like, you haven't been around." And because I went from being in the office all the time to
the
just
club.
being in the club
Yeah.
and then not skating very much anything. I was like hungover for many years almost, and had a blast doing it. But then I started to have kind of like a bit of a reality check, and then that's kind of when I came back and then got on Element.
Okay.
So I'd quit Shortys, which was like I don't know how I got from there to there, but like the night that I officially quit Shortys was there was a How to Go Pro video.
Yep.
And that video came out, and that was about the amateurs, and I was trying to help build something new because Shortys was like kind of stagnant not stagnant, but
Okay.
like with the
They need new
same
blood.
team, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was always like, everybody's votes yes or they don't get on,
right.
And nobody would vote yes for a long time, And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, guys, like I'm bringing on new guys no matter what.
Right.
Like, we have to.
I mean, you got some.
We have to keep this
people
cycle
want to
going.
keep the team the same, and they don't want to.
Yeah.
But you have to.
I think there was a bit of a threat by it too,
Yeah.
because there was a new movement in skateboarding.
Yep.
The next wave was
Tories,
coming in.
Tories,
Tories, you got Andrew Pott.
Yep.
Like, cool.
Yep.
You put on
Marius Savannah. Yeah.
That's right. You put on like some good dudes.
Yep. Oliver, I forget his last name, little
Rivas.
OG Oliver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oliver Rivas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Victor Fanous, too.
Yeah, Victor.
Oh.
Victor was like my good close homie who was just breaking it off. Rodrigo Lima.
Yep.
That's right.
So I was building, I was doing all this work, and Tony wasn't really around at that time.
Okay.
Like I was doing all this stuff and everything, and like once again, like I mean, I got nothing but love for Tony. I love the guy so much. I like nothing but good memories.
Yeah.
Things go the way they do.
Sure.
But at that premiere that night, he came up to me and said, "When did you give up on me?" At that premiere, at the How to Go Pro premiere, when I felt like I was trying to be the one to revamp and do everything and do all this
Yeah.
stuff, and I just looked at him and I was like, "Really? Like tonight?" And I just
I'm out.
I quit.
Wow.
Peace.
Wow.
quit.
Oh.
I drove to his house. I broke into his house. I grabbed all the Fulfill the Dream tapes,
Okay.
all the masters, everything, all the footage, and then I was walking out. The door, and then I stopped, and I was pretty faded too. But I remember I stopped, and I just looked at the box and looked and thought, and I threw the box down, and then just walked out. And then my homie drove the Escalade home. We were all faded, and we drove back to L.A. and I quit.
Why didn't you want the tapes?
I just left the past with the past.
Just left it-
I just
okay.
said I didn't want to deal with anything of him saying I did this or that.
Right.
So I just at that moment I just had this realization.
Huh.
I just left it, and then I went into like dark party mode.
Wow.
And I was like, I just really disappeared for a little time period there. I was gone. I mean, no skateboarding at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then Circa was still going for a while. And then eventually they were like, you know, hey, you know,
You're not
what's
doing
up with
it.
this and that. And I don't even remember how it ended. I got into a lawsuit with them for over ownership.
Oh, wow.
And then eventually I sold them my ownership and got a little bit more money. And then I went into the party scene hard and just disappeared. And I was in Paris,
France. Yeah.
France.
We get you.
And traveling all over Europe and doing all this, like, just like living life kind of. And I think that, like, and I've sort of did this throughout my entire career, and I think that it's helped me out to some extent. It's like, it allowed me not to become burnt out on something and come back with like new recharged energy. And then eventually, like, the funds were going a little bit low again. And I was like, okay, like,
time to get back.
I want to skate again, and I just knew it. I knew I wanted to skate again, and so I started to like roll more and push more on skating, and I ran into Brent Ashley's girlfriend at the Chateau Marmont in L.A.
Okay.
And she was like, "Oh, my boyfriend's a pro skater," and I'm like, "Yeah." Like, you know,
Yeah.
you always
Heard that before.
you always hear that, you know. And then she's like, "Oh, Brent Ashley." I was like, "Oh, I heard of him. He's rad. I liked him. You know, he was a rad dude, Burnside Ripper. You know." And somehow maybe she called him or something and put him on the phone with me or something.
Okay.
And they were like, "Oh, your name just came up in the Element office today with Kingman." And I was like, "What? Oh, that's really random, you know?"
Right.
And he was like, "They were just talking about you for something, and they're about possibly be on the team or something." And I was like, "Tell him to give me a call."
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Because I had already been wanting to skate at that time.
This is a year has gone by.
Probably, yeah. I'm bad with time frames, but something like that, I would say, yeah. And then, boom, called me up, said wanted to work together. Went and met with Johnny. And next thing I know, I'm on Element, and I'm fully back in skating.
Back in it.